$925 for the period of July 1 of 2023 through June 30th of 2024. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Jonathan Heintzman, Reading, PA, to the Foundation for the Reading Public Museum Board of Directors, replacing Lucine Sahelnik for a term expiring December 31st of 2023. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated August the 7th of 2023. There are a total of 14 contracts. There's one with the Berks, one with CareerLink, 3 with Children and Youth Services, 2 with Children and Youth Services and Juvenile Probation, 1 with the Commissioners, 3 with Facilities, 1 with HR, 1 with the Sheriff's Department, and 1 with the Solicitor. And I should have said something, Jess Weekneck. Do you want to say anything about the Alvernia agreement? I think it would be appropriate. We had Alvernia here before the meeting to take some photos. I know that this is something, it's a brand new relationship, and maybe be good for the public to hear what we did and why.
Yes, good morning. So yes, we just partnered with Alvernia University to offer a discount to our employees, even their family members, to continue their education. So we're looking forward to this partnership. I think it'll be a great venture for us. Also great for, obviously, our employees to continue their education. They're also offering certification programs. So very excited about this.
Thank you. And I will note my confusion. We had the mock signing here beforehand. It's on the agenda for next week, not this week, but it's something we've been working on, I think, since the beginning of the year. Missy Orlando had reached out to me, and then I connected her with HR and Jess Weekneck, and that's a good relationship. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers for week ending August the 10th of 2023. Item 4, motion to authorize execution of employee payroll disbursements dated August the 15th of 2023.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move now to reports of our treasurer and controller, and we're going to begin with the treasurer's office, and I'll recognize the deputy director, Linda Weaver.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have an opening balance of $244,269,249.99. We have a balance to clear of $5,157,595.66, leaving us with a balance of $239,111,654.33.
Thank you very much. We'll move now to the controller's office, and I want to recognize Oliver Arthur. He is their senior governmental accountant. Oliver?
Good morning. So there was no payroll this week, so our accounts payable was equal to our cash disbursements of $10,286,692.96.
Thank you very much, Oliver. And we'll move now to our Chief Operations Officer, Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Just want to highlight that my deputy and I, Larry and I, were at CCAP's annual conference in Erie. Was very enjoyable. Learned a lot. We got to as many breakout sessions as humanly possible. We actually instituted something that we are really proud of. We had a chief clerk administrator meet and greet on Tuesday morning. There's a total of 12 of us in the room, so we're going to start this very small network of folks who are across the Commonwealth doing similar jobs and sometimes different jobs than we are. as administrators and clerks to just share ideas and concepts and really to learn from how other counties operate their COO departments. The highlights for us certainly were seeing Michael as the incoming president, Commissioner Rivera, as the incoming president of CCAP for 2024. And Ron Seaman was there to receive his award as Chief Clerk Administrator of the Year. Very humble man. It was a really good speech that he gave us, and it was really good to see Ron again. So it was a really good time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move now to commissioners' comments, and we'll begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. And since Kevin took half of my comments, I'll have briefer comment.
Good job, Kevin.
Good job. So actually, there's on the screen, there's a picture of the award ceremony on Tuesday night at CCAP, and you have there Commissioner Leinbach, myself, Ron, Christine, Kevin, and Larry. They were there. Congratulations to Ron for the outstanding job he's done. Ron was selected statewide for this award. There's a committee that's put together. They review the applications, and Ron was submitted from a statewide group that submitted applications. So congratulations.
By the way, that picture looks distorted. Kevin and Larry aren't that much taller than you and I. You see that? They look like
Especially Larry.
Giants.
So we did get back from CCAP from the annual conference and trade show yesterday. On Sunday morning, both Commissioner Leinbach and I were you? No, Kevin wasn't there. We're there for Sunday morning for the one of the 4 board meetings that we have on a yearly basis to discuss CCAP business there. Also, the dinner and award ceremony was Tuesday evening, which I mentioned, where Ron was recognized. The other thing I wanted to bring, which Kevin brought already, is that he and Larry started a group. They had a meet and greet with county administrators / chief clerks and COOs at CCAP. This is something that had not been done before, and they had the idea to bring this up. So I'm looking forward to something formal at the CCAP conferences to bring that group of people together and share ideas, just like the commissioners do, the solicitors do, IT does. So I think this would be a great addition to that as well. The other thing we had there is I'm part of the Community and Economic Development Committee. We had our meeting there, which we set our priorities for 2024. Those priorities will be voted on in November to determine if they will be part of the overall CCAP priorities for 2024 or not. Also, as part of the opening session on Monday, we had a speaker there. His name is Sebastian Terry, and he founded 100 Things. It's a great story. If you have a chance, read it. Just a few things that he brought is why do we wait? Sometimes we want to do something and we just wait and say, well, when this happens, I'll do it. Or, when I get this done, then I'll do that. And so we have to stop and ask ourselves sometimes, why do we wait? Sometimes is it just a fear of doing it? And he talks about the things that he did. Also talks about life being a choice. You need to take action, set your goals, and have accountability buddy to help you through those goals. And then he had, after that, a breakout session as to how you can, it was really, really interesting what he said there. Also had the opportunity to meet with different vendors, which we will be following up with them, setting up appointments to have them talk with our different departments to see if anything that they offer might be of benefit to the county. The other thing I want to bring is this Saturday is the Fleetwood Celebration Gala Red Carpet event at the Fleetwood Fire Company Social Quarters Banquet Hall, and that's part of their 150th anniversary celebration. You can find out more about their events at fleetwoodborough.com. Again, fleetwoodborough.com, but they have other events throughout September and October, and their Christmas movie in December. But there's different events going on to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Fleetwood, including the fireworks celebration with homecoming on October 6th. So congratulations to Fleetwood and to their mayor there, as well as everyone else who's been doing their part these past 150 years at Fleetwood. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. We'll move now to Commissioner Lucine Sahelnik.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach.
You're welcome.
I want to start off by congratulating Ron. Unfortunately, I was not able to be present to celebrate him in person. You may have noticed I wasn't in the picture, but well deserved, and was so happy to put forth that nomination. The reason I wasn't in that picture is because I was in Greece, and I'm really happy to be back and come back during the dog days of summer. So a little bit of trivia to share with you. That phrase is the hottest and most humid period of the summer, which we are almost out of from July to mid-August in the Northern Hemisphere. And it originates from astronomy from the ancient Greek and Roman times. It's tied to Sirius, the dog's star in the sky. So if any of you are interested as to where that originates from, that's where it's from. And being there, I thought I'd share that, and happy to be back. So during these dog days, I know that Berks County has been alive with a lot of festivals and concerts in the parks. First Fridays, National Night Out was celebrated throughout Berks County. And I'm just glad that everybody is taking advantage of these opportunities to come together and enjoy living in Berks County and being part of the community. We also, I know, sent out the Berks First Second Edition magazine, and I believe we're receiving a lot of good comments based on the storytelling that we're doing and the communication that we're doing, that channel to everybody in Berks County. So again, thank you to our PRO, Jonathan Heinzman, for getting that out, and all of the members of the team here at the county who make that happen. Stay tuned in with the Parks Department. I always like to talk a little bit about what they're doing, and always to drive you either through the magazine. If you're getting the magazine, you can get it online. You can also get the magazine bilingually. It's also available in Spanish. But you can go to our website at any time at countyofberks.com. That's where I like to look up programs and events for the park system. They're already showcasing Friday, August 11th, woodworking, and a midsummer concert. A Grings Mill summer concert, Swing Fever, Friday, August 18th. So just really fun things to do. To tune in and go to your farmer's market, even if it's once this summer. We have a wonderful map online and through the Department of Agriculture. So you can look up different areas where you can access fresh and local produce from our farmers. Farming, we have the Ole Fair happening. I talked to Commissioner Leinbach earlier this morning about Ag Progress Days.
Yep.
So they're
Kutztown Fair.
Oh, Kutztown Fair, excuse me.
Only in the fall.
That's right. Excuse me. Kutztown Fair. You can still go to Ole and enjoy Ole as well, but it's the Kutztown Fair.
But you'll be very early if you're going to the fair.
But really, just a good opportunity to get out and see what is happening in Berks County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucine. Great to have you back. So several items. I'm going to touch on CCAP. Again, congratulations to Ron Seaman, and also congratulations to our colleague, Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Thank you.
Very proud of how you represented Berks County through your varied duties as vice president, and then being elected as the 2024 president for CCAP, County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. Some things that I want to share. Probably one of the biggest issues that was discussed In my county governance committee meeting on Sunday, it was discussed at length in the board meeting. I sat in on a workshop session and was discussed throughout the conference, and that is the status of the reauthorization of 911 funding. Unfortunately, 911 funding's become a political football again. And I'm not going to make any criticism of one side or the other, but I want the public to understand a few very important aspects of 911. In the very early 90s, 91, 92, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania established a requirement for 911 centers throughout the Commonwealth and the funding for them. And that funding was almost exclusively via a surcharge or fee on landlines. You're old enough to remember 1991, 92, cell phones were only in the hands of a few. They might have had a bag phone, if you remember those, or the infamous brick. It was called a brick because it was about the size and weight of a brick that you could have. Most people didn't have those. They were using landlines. Unfortunately, when that was established, while it covered 100% on that particular year, it was not tied to any kind of cost of living, and so the rate never went up. In 2012, there was a reauthorization and a reapplication. Much more of the fee went against cell phones and other devices, even what we call landlines. Like in this building, they're actually connected to internet protocol. They're tied in through the internet versus traditional copper wire, Verizon, AT&T. When we did that, we couldn't even get the cost up to match inflation. And it was not nearly close to covering the cost of 911. It was reauthorized again in 2015. Unfortunately, in 2015, they pretty much reauthorized the prior significant changes. And here we are today, 911 reauthorization sunsets the end of January of 2024. In both other reauthorizations, by this point in time, the reauthorization had already taken place. And I'm going to have this backwards, but I believe 12, it was part of the budget. And in 15, it was a separate piece of legislation, but it was already done. It's August. The legislature is not in session, and nothing is happening right now. We have been told that hearings are being scheduled, and I do want to compliment one of our local state representatives with whom I've had several conversations. That is Mark Gillen. Mark Gillen is the House Minority Chair of the committee. It's Veterans and Emergency Services that handles this. He understands the issue. He's working very hard to move this forward. He's committed to reauthorization. But there are going to be a series of hearings around the Commonwealth before there's any kind of vote. There's not even a bill at this point in time. So we don't know what the vehicle is that will reauthorize this. But the bigger issue is in 2015, we asked for $2. We didn't get that. It was well below that. Right now, they're considering $1.97. We've asked for $2.30. At $2.30 with a 15-cent annual increase in 5 years, that $2.30 would cover approximately 90% of the cost, not 100%. So we're not asking for anything that is unreasonable, but 911 is, make no mistake about it, an unfunded mandate on counties. And whatever the fee does not cover is going to be covered by property tax. If there's no reauthorization, virtually every single one of the 67 counties will have to raise county property taxes to make this up. It's very significant. I don't like theater to make a point, but we talked about this at our board meeting. What happens if the PA legislature does not vote to properly fund 911 services? I will tell you right now, 911 is one of 5 departments where we have serious challenges in getting staffing. Our 5, and see if I'm right here, Berks, jail, children and youth services, it's one of 4. And 911. They're the 4 toughest departments when we look at openings and vacancies. I was just there this morning at 6:30 talking to a number of our telecommunicators. So what happens if the PA legislature doesn't vote to properly fund 911? Ask yourself, what happens if you call 911 and you get a busy signal? That's not an option. And I can tell you right now, counties aren't going to let that happen. But I believe the Commonwealth elected officials, and I'm being careful because I'm not calling out any particular people, they have an obligation, A, to understand that this is a health and public safety issue, B, that there's an obligation to properly fund it. We believe that the vehicle they established, we didn't establish this, the vehicle of surcharging devices that are able to be used to call 911 is the right way to fund it. We need it done. And we need it done by the end of January. If it isn't, it's going to end up being a property tax increase across the Commonwealth. One other note, I learn more from networking at these events than almost anything else. Tioga County is not a big county. Some people may know the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania. Wellsboro is their county seat. Tioga County's 911 system now ties in, this is part of Next Gen 911, to the video of all of their public schools. They can, at their switch, immediately go in if there's an incident, a call from a public school, and access all of the live streaming cameras in that public school. They then are able, if there's an incident, to advise police, fire, EMS, what they are seeing. Eventually, with full implementation of Next Gen 911, the police, fire, and EMS will be able to see that as they come up to a location for some type of an emergency response. That's something I want to talk to our 911 folks about, but that was very impressive, talking to Commissioner Mark Hamilton. Sebastian Terry, who was a keynote inspirational speaker. I have to tell you, I'm 64. I still can learn things. I was sitting there at the beginning of his presentation, and for me, it initially came across fairly flat. And I know I'm going to offend somebody with this, but I don't know how else to describe it. For me, it sounded like some liberal mumbo jumbo feel good stuff, but I said I'm going to listen. About halfway through, he asked a question, and this was on Monday. He said, I want each of you to think in your mind of something that you want to do with your life. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but think about it. What is it? So I did. And I had shared this with somebody the evening before, something I wanted to do. I said, okay. But he didn't stop there. As soon as he was done, he said, now, I want you to turn to the person next to you and share with them, what it is that you want to do, and they'll share with you. I was sitting next to Lisa Schaefer, the executive director of the County Commissioners Association, and she said to me, I want to run in the Boston Marathon. I said, wow. And she's a runner. I said, that is really pretty cool. And you might think this is corny. I told her what I told Joe Kantz the night before. I've had about a month and a half or 2 months of guitar lessons about 6 years ago. I play, I'm not that great. And I turned to her and said, I want to go back after this election to play, to get guitar lessons. So he didn't stop there. He then said, I know everyone has a phone, and I'm asking you to think of somebody you know really well, you really trust, and I want you to text them right now what it is you want to do. Don't say, I'm here with this crazy guy at CCAP that's told me I should do this. Just text. So I texted my wife. I said, I'm the election this year. She responded immediately and said, good idea. Someday I want to take piano lessons. You know what I did? Within 15 minutes, I went in, I put a note on my calendar for November 13th. I invited my wife, and the note says, we're signing up for guitar lessons and piano lessons. Now that might sound minor. One, I learned that don't discount people just because they sound in a way that you think, I don't need this stuff. And two, simple changes come when we take simple action. And that's not something he necessarily said, but it was the message. And it wasn't enough to have the idea in your head. And I automatically took the action when I saw how my wife responded. I know from some other people they did similar things. So I could share some other things about Sebastian Terry that were also impressive. Sometime asked me about the 2 words, push me, that really, yeah, I got choked up on that, push me. The last thing that I picked up also in networking, and this was actually from the President's Award. I want to take a look. Dauphin County received an award in their Parks and Rec department, and they've begun the Dauphin County Parks Passport Program. It's an online tool that lets people know all about the things you can do at their parks, and people can, it's interactive, and sign up, something that I want to look at. I always do this. I have my notes from my first conferences back in 2007 when I went to the new commissioners conference. I always take notes, and my objective is to be able to come back and take 2 or 3 ideas that we can implement somewhere in county government, or I can implement in my life. I learned that in the private sector. We used to do that when we went to association conferences. In fact, the owner of the company required us to come back, give a report, and we had to have 2 to 5 things that we believed were implementable and potentially beneficial to the company. That was a requirement. If you didn't do that, he wasn't going to send you to a conference again. Noon at 1:30, most likely inside the Ag Center, we are having a groundbreaking. It's a renovation. We're kicking off phase 1 of renovations for the Berks County Agricultural Center. It was built in the 70s. It has never had, since then, any kind of renovation. So when you go in there, it's very 70s looking. We're going to be talking about what is in phase 1, but we're very excited about that. Also looking forward to the Fleetwood Borough 150th anniversary gala. And the last thing I want to do is I want to share some pictures. Yesterday was all this week is Ag Progress Days up at Penn State. Since 2008, I've been taking students to both Ag Progress Days as well as Farm Show. One day of the week of both of those events, over 60 students. And these are students that are juniors or seniors and serious about a career in agriculture. And I'd like to just take a minute to share some photos from that event.
You look taller.
Yeah, I do look taller, but that's because I actually am taller. The individuals from left to right, Tara Mondock, some of our folks know her. She is with Penn State Extension. Then our director of our Berks County Agriculture Department, Emily Wangolo. Lisa Chilcott is a teacher at Schuylkill Valley. She's the ag teacher, and the 2023-2024 school season is going to be the first year of a full ag program at Schuylkill Valley School District. Let me give last names here. Kylie and Charlotte are the two students, and it's Charlotte. Kylie is in the black, Kaylee Widener, and then Charlotte Wallace, and then the old ugly guy, which is me. Tara Mondock, never had this before. Tara took the two students, Emily and Lisa, their teacher, on a Kubota tour of the entire Ag Progress Days display, which that's the way to do it. It is a huge event, so they were able to do that. We got to meet a lot of great people. This is State Representative Jamie Barton on the left. The next person is Scott Seckler. He is the president and owner of Bell and Evans. He lives in Berks County. Bell and Evans' main operation is in Lebanon County, and then our students, along with Emily and myself. We met Governor Shapiro. Governor Shapiro is to your has his back to you. He is talking to our students right here, and you also see Stephanie Shirk on the left of the picture. Stephanie Shirk oversees this region for Penn State Extension. We ended up getting a picture, and I often get pictures, but never one quite like this. We have the Secretary of Agriculture, Russ Redding, Stephanie Shirk, Penn State Extension, Emily Wangolo, our head of our Department of Ag, Lisa, teacher from Schuylkill Valley, Governor Shapiro, President Neely Benaputi. She is the president of Penn State University. This is actually Dean Roush. He is the dean of Penn State School of Ag, Charlotte, Kaylee, and myself. President Benaputi, again, just some pictures of the luncheon. This is Congressman Glenn Thompson. He is the first congressman from Pennsylvania in 100 years to chair the House Ag Committee. And he is going all over the country with hearings. He did a great job yesterday, and it was fascinating. Governor Shapiro praised the work of G.T. Thompson. That's how he is known. And G.T. went over what he's doing with the Farm Bill. That's a picture, a wide angle of the entire luncheon. We were able to show a portable forge. This gentleman is custom making shoes for some of the horses that were up there. We stopped at the Penn State Master Gardener Program. Kaylee specifically asked to be able to see that, and so we were able to get there. Part of their gardening, one of the pollinators' gardens. And then we always ask, are you red or green? They have to be farming to understand. Are you a John Deere farmer, or an international. Neither of them live on farms, but they both agreed they're red. So we stopped. This is actually a Case International Steiger tractor. It's enormous. We got their picture with me with our two students. And that is the last picture. And I'm going to exit. But we really had a great time. I want to thank Emily. Because of the way things worked out, I left Erie, Pennsylvania yesterday morning at 6 a.m. to drive to Penn State. Emily met the students and teacher out at her ag center. I think it was a much more decent hour, like 7:50. And we were able to meet and connect up there in Penn State. That is all that I have. Any comments from our row officers? Hearing none. We have no public comment in person and nothing online.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting stands adjourned.